This pbcasttv production is broadcasted and produced in stereo, where available. Hello and welcome into PB at Night, episode 25. This is for Tuesday, February 15th, 2011. I'm your host, Nick Jones. Thanks for joining us here on this wonderful Tuesday afternoon. Tuesday night, I guess you could say. I guess it is all depending on where you are. But anyway, guys, thanks for joining us here on PBcast TV. Sorry about last night, as you guys probably know, unless you were living under a rock, but yesterday was Valentine's Day. Honestly, I'm not big into Valentine's Day, but we used the opportunity yesterday to treat my mom to a nice dinner, or well, not really, because we went to somewhere where we go all the time. So, it wasn't that special, but it was still kind of fun to bring her, treat her out. Anyway, I spent last night spending time with my family. Sometimes I would, I still want to do this. I still want to do the shows with you guys, but I guess, considering that I am a teenager, I guess I do need to spend some time with my family, and I appreciate you guys understanding that sometimes we can't do the show for multiple reasons, because Jacob or I have to do something. Smoothly saying I had a hot date. Well, I guess you could call my mom a hot date, but anyway, I texted Jacob. I usually, a lot of times when we're going to cancel the shows, most of the time they're not premeditated cancels. They're usually like the night before or maybe the morning of. I have to say, hey Jacob, I can't do it. And I texted him and I was like, hey Jacob, I got a really hot date. I'm sorry, I can't go or something. He's like, really? With who? Or what? Or I was like, yeah, we can't do Gadget Gurus because I got a really hot date. He's like, with who? I'm like, well, it's with my mom. But anyhow, I had fun. It was fun, good time. But honestly, Valentine's Day is not one of my favorite days of the year. But anyway, guys, thanks for joining us, as always, here on PB at Night. Carlos said he spent the night playing Torchlight and drinking wine. That's always good. Guys, and this is the live chat room at live.pbcasttv.com. And one more thing, I'm going to be putting this up tonight, hopefully. Jacob, we talked about this on Tech Weekly. If you watch the, one of the good things about joining us live is you get things that aren't in the show. And Jacob has been working on a little widget for Windows 7. Those little things that you put up in the, what used to be in the sidebar what was that thing called? I guess the widget bar or something on Vista. And now on Windows 7, you can bring it anywhere on your desktop. Jacob has been working on a PBcast TV widget, and it's done. Or gadget. I can't remember which. I think it's a gadget. Anyhow, you can download it, and that should be on our website later tonight. So if you want to follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/pbcasttv, I'll probably tweet it out with a little link where you can download it and stuff. So anyhow, it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's a gadget. That's what I thought. All right. Anyway, guys, let's go ahead and jump into our first news story for today. And we've got a lot of sports news for today because that was not that much happened. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Excuse me. So Tony La Russa accused the Union today for pressuring Albert Pujols to accept a record contract. This is from the Washington Post. And Cardinals manager Tony La Russa claims that the Players Association is pressuring Albert Pujols and his representatives to set a contract record, an accusation that the Union denies. Pujols is eligible to become a free agent after the World Series and has set a Wednesday noon Eastern Time deadline to reach an agreement on the new deal. Alex Rodriguez's, that's kind of weird anyway, $275 million deal, 10-year deal with the Yankees is baseball's current high. This is a quote from La Russa, and a quote, I know what he's going through with the Union, and to some extent his representatives, because his representatives are getting beat by the Union, La Russa said in Jupiter, Florida. Set the bar, you've got to deal with it. It's not the way it should be. So I know this is kind of an interesting story, but really, Albert Pujols, one of the premier players in the MLB, and the Players Association is encouraging him to hold off and get as much money as he can, because it's very likely that he could squeeze out maybe a between a $250 and $300 million deal. I don't think it's going to be over 10 years because of his age, but the thing is, Albert Pujols, being one of the top players in the game right now, he set a deadline of tomorrow, like I said, at noon Eastern time for the deal to be done, or he's going to open up the door and say, at the end of this year, I'll become a free agent, and he's not going to negotiate with his current team anymore. Now, granted, there's always a chance that he would come back to the Cardinals after this, which is a very good possibility because, he has always been with the Cardinals and probably still wants to be with the Cardinals. But anyhow, if I was the Cardinals, I'd go ahead and get this deal done. They've got the budget to pay him a record deal. It's really just not wanting to, because if they could maybe convince him to take less money, they would be able to, bring in other people and bring in better talent, younger talent, with the money that they would have spent to give him a record deal. So we'll see what comes out with this. It's going to be interesting to see if, Albert Pujols actually stays with the Cardinals, because he's been there his whole career pretty much. And, thinking about it, it would kind of be weird to see Albert Pujols in a jersey that's not a Cardinal red. So, anyhow, very interesting. Our next story is also pretty cool. I always like to talk about this because, being a Call of Duty fan, I know Call of Duty's not real, but it still kind of puts me in a situation where I'm always, seems like I've been in combat. I know it's nothing like combat, but, I'm kind of a history nut deal, so this is always interesting. Today, the President of the United States, Barack Obama, called it one of his favorite events of the year, awarding America's highest civilian honor, the Medal of Freedom. A philanthropist is a lover of humanity, and there's no word that fits Warren better. I should point out, he's so thrifty, said President Barack Obama about billionaire Warren Buffett. I had to give him a White House tie at the last time he came to visit. Buffett was honored not just for his investment prowess. He bought his first stock when he was 11. He was also honored for his philanthropy. He pledged the bulk of his wealth to charity. So it's pretty cool. Warren Buffett got the Medal of Freedom prize, which, like I said, is essentially the highest, award that a civilian can get. So that's pretty cool. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's pretty cool that Warren Buffett is going to give his, a lot of his fortune away to charity, but maybe we could award it to somebody. I guess it's not like it used to be, like the Nobel Peace Prize is pretty much just the most popular person. I mean, President Obama won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2008 when he was like a month after he was president or something, and he hadn't even really done anything in office. So I guess some of these honors, Warren Buffett definitely deserves this, but I think some of these honors besides this one actually have kind of become more of a popularity statement, maybe, or a popularity vote. But anyway, kind of cool to see a Medal of Freedom be awarded at the White House today. Like I said, a lot of sports news today, but this is pretty interesting if you're into this kind of stuff. Eagles quarterback Michael Vick was among players to be given the franchise tag. This is from the Los Angeles Times sports section. The Philadelphia Eagles sought to guarantee the return of Michael Vick for at least one more season by placing the franchise player tag on the versatile quarterback, the NFL club confirmed Tuesday. The designation, which might not carry over the new collective bargaining agreement pact between the NFL and the Players Association would keep Vick with the Eagles for an average of the 5 highest paid NFL quarterbacks, or roughly $20 million. The team's official website, PhiladelphiaEagles.com, said that Vick's franchise tag was exclusive, meaning that no other teams would have a chance to compete for his services. Also among the list to get the franchise tag put on them, Vincent Jackson, Patriots guard Logan Mankis, Jets linebacker David Harris, and Ravens defensive tackle, I'm just going to butcher his name, I don't know. But anyway, so essentially what the franchise tag is, that says, it's kind of surprising too, really smoothie. The interesting thing about this is, Michael Vick's had so many legal troubles. He got in the dogfighting allegations. Did he serve 2 years in prison, or was it 1? Not quite sure. Anyway, he did serve in prison, and he's actually made a comeback. I'm guessing, it's kind of hard to forgive somebody like that, but honestly, I know that PETA is a very large organization, and people care about their animals. I have nothing against animals, but it just seems apparent, especially in this day and age, that Michael Vick goes to prison for 2 years or 1 year or whatever for fighting with dogs, which is illegal, and he should have been punished. But I have a feeling that if Michael Vick or any other superstar NFL player was convicted of murder or something like that, we've seen so many NFL players get off, not with murder, but suspected drug charges and things like that. And I value the lives of animals, but honestly, I think that our society almost tries and actually sometimes successfully does put the value of an animal's life over a human's life. If you get what I'm saying, I mean, I know it sounds, I'm kind of walking a thin line here because you have to have laws against animals, and I know he broke the law, but what am I trying to say here? I guess it's kind of interesting that he had to pay such a costly penalty. Yes, that's what, true. That is true. Somebody's saying drugs harm people, the people taking them, and dogfighting harms innocent animals. And I understand that. But, I don't know. It's just one of those things where, especially in the legal system, it's a lot easier. Let's just say I was convicted with a drug charge or second-degree manslaughter or something. Like, who was that ran over somebody? Some NFL player was driving down the streets in Miami. He was drunk, may have been drugged up as well. He swerved off to the side of the road, clipped some I remember it was like a bus stop or something, and actually killed an innocent civilian. He served 6 months in prison, and his charges were eventually dropped. He served 6 months because he had some other issues that they brought up in court. And I totally understand. I know that it's kind of weird. Yeah. Carlos saying that he lives in England, of course, and he said that a lot of the football guys just pay a ton of money and they get off scot-free. That's how it works here, too, as well. It seems that they can manipulate the the legal system. It's a lot easier for a pro superstar athlete to get off of, get their charges dropped or something than an average civilian. I'm just saying that. But I think, like I said, I'm kind of walking the thin line. But anyway, and I think he did something illegal, and it's hard for people to forgive him because there's so many dog lovers and people who just see what he is doing, because essentially he was gambling as well illegally. So there's a lot of different aspects, and it's hard to forgive him. But honestly, if he has changed his life, if he has changed it for the better, which he seems to have done so, I guess he deserves this. He served his sentence that was given to him, and essentially he's kind of started a new part of his life, I guess. So I don't know. I can see where people are kind of upset that he's come back and doing so well, but honestly, in my opinion, he served his sentence, and he's done. He was clean. He's not done anything. So anyway, another story. I thought this was kind of interesting since we were talking about philanthropy. Although I don't think Donald Trump is a philanthropist, he does have a lot of money. And the New York Mets are kind of in a turmoil right now because, a couple years ago the Mets were in the running for the World Series. Now they've kind of collapsed because they had a lot of older players and they've either not turned out or also, not done so well. They haven't turned out like a lot of people would like them to. But according to the New York Times, Trump contacted the Mets owners in the front office, and he said he wanted to set a face-to-face meeting to discuss the possibility of buying a major stake of the club. No meeting has taken place yet. This is from NESN.com. I think that's New England Sports Network. Anyway, they cover a lot of different things in New York. But anyway, that's kind of interesting to see Donald Trump actually getting into the MLB ownership committee. The Mets were valued at $858 million in 2010. Yeah, I mean that's pretty cool. Kind of interesting to see the old Donald Trump getting into sports ownership. And our final story for today is actually, I think, the Jeopardy episodes, or anyway, what we're talking about is the Watson computer, the IBM computer. I know we've talked about this a lot, but it's just so interesting, and I guess I'm kind of a sucker for something like this, but the Jeopardy episodes, pre-recorded episodes that have Watson, the IBM computer, are actually airing tonight. One aired last night and one is going to air tomorrow night, I believe. And he actually beat, I know, spoiler alert, he actually beat Ken Jennings and I guess that's Brad Rutter maybe. I don't know. I mean, it's just such an interesting thing. Yeah, Smooth saying he keeps forgetting to watch them. We're supposed to watch them, and I take a class called Scholar Bowl, or Scholars Bowl. Sorry, I call it Scholar Bowl just for fun. It's kind of like Team Jeopardy. It's like a high school class, but it's Team Jeopardy in a sense. And we're going to watch this, I think, tomorrow or Thursday. Not quite sure. Hopefully my teacher was actually able to pre-record this. So it's pretty cool. I guess we might talk about it one more time when I actually get to see it. But anyway, guys, it's pretty cool. Kind of interesting to see where computers are going. Anyhow, guys, thanks for joining us on this episode of PB at Night. As always, you can follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/pbcasttv. YouTube.com/pbcasttv is where all of our episodes are posted. You can also join us every time we do this show. We do it on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. Usually on Mondays, it's right after Gadget Gurus, which means we usually start Gadget Gurus around 5:30 or 6, which sometimes pushes this episode's start time back after 7 o'clock. Actually, most of the time it will. So if you just show up for Gadget Gurus or just pay attention to our Twitter feed, which I think I forgot to tweet out, which is my bad because we were having some technical issues. But anyway, guys, usually if you follow us on PBcast, twitter.com/pbcasttv, you will be able to see when we go live. Yeah, whoops, my bad. But anyway, Carlo and Smoothie both know that we start at 7 o'clock. But anyway, this show and every show that we do is pre-recorded and posted to YouTube. Hopefully the same day. Sometimes I have encoding problems or something like that. Like Tech Weekly didn't get posted until Monday because I had some other things to do. But they usually get posted within 1 to 2 days. And also got some good news for you guys. We're going to actually start, since we can, I think I said a little bit about this on Tech Weekly. Wirecast, we had some problems with Wirecast 3.0 or 3.5 or whatever the version was before 4.0. I couldn't get it to record on Windows in MPEG 4. I could only get it to record in Flash video, and you cannot do anything with the Flash video file. If you try to encode it into any other format, the audio screws up, something happens where you can't do it. But now, since we can record in QuickTime, I'm able to convert and also upload this video to multiple websites, including blip.tv. And whenever iTunes decides to say that we will be on iTunes, we will have one designated feed for all of the PBcast TV shows. And we may do separate feeds later, but as of now, it will just be a PBcast TV video feed. But the best way to watch, and the best way I like to watch, is on YouTube, because not only can you watch that on an iPad, an iPhone, they do all the stuff for us, and you can watch on your Android phone. By the way, loving my Inspire 4G. It's awesome. Expect a full review on our YouTube channel. And also, yeah, I'm waiting for iTunes to get back to me. And also on Gadget Gurus this next week. Guys, make sure, if you like, you can follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/thatnickjones. And also follow Jacob on Twitter, twitter.com/freakinghuge. FREAKINHUGE. Jacob is like the co-founder, like co-host deal. He's on Tech Weekly and Gadget Gurus, and sometimes on this show. So if you want to, check out Jacob, twitter.com/freakinghuge, and also youtube.com/freakinghuge. Honestly, the best way to interact with us is to join us in the live chat room, which I've already mentioned, over at live.pbcasttv.com. As you can see, this is kind of my brains. That's how Leo Laporte always says this is like the brains of his show. Also the kids in the back of the class throwing spitballs at me, things like that, or shooting spitballs at me, whatever. But it's fun to hang out. Yeah, Carlo's doing what all the Chris Pirillo people do. They come on here and they'll be like, hello YouTube, and they you can see that like 5 different times on the chat room. But anyway, guys, thanks for joining us on PB at Night. As always, check us out, pbcasttv.com. So until next time, guys, I'm Nick Jones. Hope to see you soon. We'll catch you on Thursday. Not tomorrow, but Thursday, 7 o'clock Central Time, live.pbcasttv.com. So until next time, which I already said, so I'll just say, peace. See you guys.